Live from WTOC, the Southeast News leader. The News Now starts on WTOC Plus.
Welcome back to The News on WTOC Plus. I'm digital anchor Jude Binkley, joined with meteorologist Andrew Gordon, whose name is in all uppercase today.
Nice.
I was able to
Watched
fix
yesterday.
it. Yeah.
Was not, but that's okay.
Yeah.
Because we were in a silly, goofy mood.
Silly, goofy mood today. A little bit more serious today, though, Andrew, because the temperatures are absolutely frigid outside, and it sounds like it's only going to get colder.
Yeah, you know, we definitely have colder air in the 7-day forecast, and we're going to get to that. We've got the sunshine today, temperatures starting to get closer to freezing and above, which is good news, but there's a lot to talk about in the first alert forecast. So let's get to it. That's what it's like on the south side of Savannah right now. Sunshine, a little breezy, and it's at 31 in Savannah. We're at freezing, and Hinesville above it. In Jessup at 33, Brunswick 32, Beaufort and Hilton Head. The wind, though, making it feel colder. Feels like 25 still in Savannah, so those wind chills still feeling like the 20s, the 30s across the region. Felt like the teens for a lot of our inland areas this morning. Hour by hour, seeing your temperatures go up to the 40s this afternoon, but notice as we go overnight, at least into the late evening, not quite as bad as yesterday. Still will have a little bit of that wind chill, but through the afternoon, it's not so bad. Still, students, hopefully they went to school with their jackets, jeans, long pants, hoodies, beanies, all of that. We needed it for the bus stop this morning. Afternoon, still going to be cold, just not quite as bad as what we had. So for your Wednesday morning, areas along and west of I-95 should plan on another freeze, just not quite as cold as what we had. And a similar story for your Thursday. These afternoons will feature more cloud cover as we go toward the end of the week, the highs in the 50s. Now, this weekend gets interesting. We are likely going to have a low pressure system form here off the coast of the Carolinas. Will the cold air match up with the moisture? Great question. We don't know yet. Anybody that's just showing one model, probably trying to get some clicks here and there. It's not what we do. But we're saying that there is a chance for rain that could turn over then into snow later on Saturday. So we're going to be watching that. As we get a little bit more consistent in the modeling, some things are showing a little snow, some are showing absolutely nothing. Might pop a first alert weather day on Saturday as well. So just be mindful of that. What I am confident in is the cold air coming in Sunday. This isn't a fun one. Frigid Fred, maybe.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, so this is cold. No other way to look at this. This is model data, consistent with forecasting as well from the National Weather Service and what we are thinking. Everybody's kind of on the same page with the Arctic air coming in. So the actual temperatures would be in the teens for inland areas, about 20 for Savannah on Sunday if this forecast holds. And the wind chills would be in the single digits for a lot of us. So I've posted this on my Facebook page. You can go and look at that. This is not clickbait. This is what is likely going to happen. You have to prepare for that because wind chills will take heat out of exposed skin faster than just a current temperature with no wind. It's important to know that. And as we get into Sunday, it's going to be very cold. Monday, I also have added as a first alert weather day, slightly warmer, wind chills probably not single digits, but teens. We don't get this cold very often. So it's important to pay attention to that. So I know everybody enjoys the novelty of the chance for some wintry precipitation, but I think the real harm could be done to those that maybe don't have access to heat and things like that on Sunday and even Monday. Monday is going to be very similar to what we just experienced this morning. So think of that Monday, a little extra spice for Sunday. Yeah. So that's what we got for you.
And Andrew, I'm glad you brought it up because we just heard from the mayor during his weekly press conference. And one of the things that the city and some community partners have been doing is expanding all the hours at a lot of the different shelters, the Salvation Army, the Union Mission, a lot of places downtown, as well as actually transportation services.
Good.
We wrote up a whole article about that yesterday. So if you are, out in the cold, like there are more opportunities this week to be able to get inside. Yeah. Another thing I wanted to touch on just from coming from the north, dealing with a lot more snow, gloves is something like, it seems like a no-brainer, but a lot of people go outside without them. Yeah. And I swear, like, just being super cold on your appendages, your fingers, your toes, really gets you. I always wear wool socks and I always wear gloves, even getting behind the wheel.
Take it from somebody that has lived up north. It's good. Yeah. You know, I don't know. Some people think it's not cool to wear gloves. You can't text while you got it. You got time to go to your favorite store or Amazon or whatever. Yeah. You can get the gloves. You can do that in now. It's worth it, because if you're outside for a little bit, it takes the heat out of your body. It's as simple as that. So coldest year we've had, and I mean, it's been a while. I don't know exactly the last time we had single-digit wind chills, but it's been a few years at least. So, something to prepare for.
Yeah, brace for it. Andrew, thanks for joining us here on Plus with that forecast.
Of course.
Certainly appreciate it. All right, well, we are going to continue with our top headlines this morning, turning now to a story out of the Low Country, because we're learning a little bit more this morning about the 19-year-old who was killed in a shooting with Hardeeville police officers. Jaden Holloway Caldwell of Pawleys Island died outside a motel and gas station on White Hardy Boulevard Friday morning. South Carolina Law Enforcement Division says officers were called after someone was trying to break into cars in the area. Investigators say officers later encountered an armed man matching the description, and then an argument started. Then the officer and him shot at each other. Both people were hit. SLED is looking to figure out exactly what led up to the argument. Now, Holloway's family says they want people to know about his character.
To know Jaden is to love Jaden. Jaden has such a big heart, a pure heart. He always wanted to make sure everybody around him was okay.
And the Jasper County Sheriff's Office made an arrest in connection to a different shooting in Hardeeville that happened on yesterday. The shooting happened yesterday morning on the 800 block of Old Charleston Highway in Hardeeville. Investigators say Dwayne Lauren Bentley Jr. was identified as the shooter. He's being charged with murder and possession of a weapon during the commission of a violent crime. This investigation does remain active. Turning now to national news, sources tell CBS News that a Border Patrol commander and some federal agents are expected to pack up and leave Minneapolis soon. It comes after two U.S. citizens, Renee Good and Alex Preddy, were shot and killed by federal agents in less than 3 weeks. President Trump has sent his border czar, Tom Homan, to the state as his administration faces growing backlash over statements made by key officials immediately after Preddy's death. CBS News' Bradley Blackburn has more from New York.
Protesters gathered outside of a Minnesota hotel overnight where they believe U.S. Border Patrol Commander Greg Bovino may be staying. Sources tell CBS News Bovino and some of his agents will leave Minneapolis as soon as today. Another source says Bovino has been relieved of his command. It comes 3 days after a federal agent shot and killed 37-year-old ICU nurse Alex Preddy. Bovino strongly defended his agent Saturday.
This looks like a situation where an individual wanted to do maximum damage and massacre law enforcement.
But multiple videos from the scene contradict his statements.
People are losing faith that the federal government can be capable of enforcing federal law and doing it professionally and without widespread constitutional violations.
With growing backlash, President Trump now seems to be changing course. On social media, the president said he had good calls with Minnesota Governor Tim Walz and Minneapolis Mayor Jacob Frey Monday, announcing his border czar, Tom Homan, will now coordinate with state and local officials on the ground.
We hope Governor Walz will do the right thing and continue to work with President Trump to keep the American people safe.
Governor Walz's office said in a statement the president agreed to look into reducing the number of federal agents in Minnesota. Frey also says he'll continue to push for an end to ramped up federal immigration operations and that he plans to discuss next steps with Homan today. Bradley Blackburn, CBS News, New York.
Well, a little closer to home now, communities in North Georgia are still dealing with the impact of the storm and cold, which is only making recovery in those parts of the state harder. In White County, homes and businesses remain without power, with drivers seeing the damage firsthand. Large branches hanging from power lines, fallen limbs, and entire tree lines, roads between Cleveland and Helen. Power crews have been working to restore service in that area of North Georgia. At one point, more than 80% of the county was without power. Inside their 911 center, emergency resources are still being deployed. So far, officials say there have been no significant injuries.
We're a mountain community. We take care of ourselves for the most part. We check on our neighbors, and we make it through and know how to survive stuff like this.
3 National Guard strike teams are now in White County as the focus shifts towards rebuilding. Officials say the cost of the storm is not going to be pretty. And delays and cancellations are one of the impacts of that storm that are leaving some travelers stranded here at the Savannah Hilton Head Airport. We spoke with a couple yesterday who arrived in Savannah on Saturday and planned to leave the next day. However, their Sunday flight was canceled. They said they were staying an extra night and say they're making the best of it in the hostess city. Their message to travelers affected by the storm is to stay patient and look at it as part of the trip.
We flew in from Philadelphia on Saturday. We arrived here about 12:30. We were spending the night, and then we were supposed to fly out early Sunday morning. Flight was canceled. Couldn't have been asked for a better overnight than in Savannah, Georgia.
According to FlightAware, more than 50 flights were canceled in the span of 24 hours yesterday at the Savannah airport. Another impact of the storm that we are tracking is that if you're expecting mail to arrive on time, you may want to plan ahead. The Postal Service says this winter storm could cause delayed mail delivery in 30 states, including right here in Georgia. They will continually monitor weather developments and adjust operations to minimize impacts and for their workers' safety as well. They ask you to check the USPS website for any delivery updates and potential post office closures. And in the aftermath of this winter storm, Georgia Power says it will not shut off electricity for customers who may have fallen behind on their bills. They are suspending service disconnections for both residential and commercial customers through Thursday, offering what officials describe as a temporary grace period during the cold weather. Well, federal emergency declarations have been approved by President Trump for Georgia and South Carolina as the severe winter weather impacts our region. The declarations enable the states to access federal resources to support response efforts, with FEMA providing 75% federal funding. FEMA has staged resources including generators, meals, water, and blankets at distribution centers. Approximately 900 FEMA staff are deployed to support response operations. Turning now to consumer news, the new American version of TikTok is already under scrutiny after some users accused the app of suppressing anti-ICE or anti-Trump content. Now California's governor says he's launching an investigation into the complaints.
California Governor Gavin Newsom is taking aim at the popular social media app TikTok. Writing on X, "It's time to investigate. I am launching a review into whether TikTok is violating state law by censoring Trump-critical content." The Democrat said some users had complained they were barred from posting the phrase Epstein.
This is going to be American operated all the way.
It comes just days after ByteDance, TikTok's Chinese owner, said it had finalized a deal to set up a majority U.S.-owned joint venture that will secure U.S. data and avoid a ban here in the U.S. But since the announcement, users say they have noticed a change.
TikTok is now censoring our content a lot more now.
TikTok USA is broken.
What in the is going on with my FYP?
Over the weekend, TikTok users reported seeing the same videos repeating on their For You page, some content not displaying, and new posts getting 0 views. Other users also accused the app of censorship, claiming videos critical of ICE and the recent killing of Alex Preddy was what caused the difficulties to post.
We are posting factual, political information, and they are censoring our content.
But TikTok denied those claims and says the glitches users experienced were due to a power outage at a U.S. data center. In a statement, they said, quote, "We've publicly confirmed we're having ongoing technical issues impacting all U.S. users. It would be inaccurate to report that this is anything but the technical issues we've publicly confirmed."
Now, it's important to note that this deal for the U.S. portion of TikTok was just finalized last week, so it will likely take some time for any real changes to flow through to the app. Kelly O'Grady, CBS News, New York.
Turning now to sports news, the Atlanta Falcons will be officially introducing their new head coach, Kevin Stefanski, later today. He's set to take to the podium at noon. We will have a live feed of this right here on WTOC Plus, so you can watch it live. It'll be on the secondary, the WTOC breaking news and weather feed, as well as the WTOC Facebook page, where you can watch it live. And finally, here on WTOC Plus, students at the Savannah Arts Academy are trading the winter weather for a taste of summer nights, revving up their stage for a production of Grease. I stopped by one of their dress rehearsals late last week to see how they're making the classic musical shine.
We have a gigantic cast, an amazing gigantic cast, but it's so immersive. So when they come to see it, it's not just the nostalgia of the show itself, but it's creating an experience in the moment.
Drama breaks out when his summer fling shows up at his high school, and he's like, oh crap, what do you know?
It's challenging and it's fun. And I'm glad that I get the opportunity to do it, and I hope I do her justice to all the fans out there.
We all are friends outside of the show as well, and so to have all my friends in the show, and we're like meant to be best friends in the show, it's like so much fun.
It's amazing because you build such a tight-knit bond with your fellow scene mates and castmates, and it's just like, it's almost like a brother bond.
I wanted to choose something that the students would be excited about and something that I feel that they could get the rest of the student body behind to come see. We also want the community to come out, and we know that this is a show that everybody loves, and if they don't know it yet, they will when they see it.
Yeah, so I was able to check out the rehearsal. I put that piece together. Had a lot of fun there, and it looks like the students certainly are too. They're doing 4 productions of Grease this week, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, one each evening, and then they have a matinee as well. You can check out my last web story to see how to get tickets. It's saa.booktix.com. Really classic musical. It's funny, I put that story together yesterday, went home and listened to some of the Grease movie soundtrack right after. So some of that's been stuck in my head this morning. All right, well, with that, we're going to wrap things up here for the news on WTOC Plus. Thanks for joining us this morning. We'll be back in just about 40 minutes for 2 different broadcasts at noon. Again, we'll have the news at noon at the top of the hour on the main WTOC feed. And then on the secondary WTOC Plus feed, we will have that Kevin Stefanski introductory press conference as they introduce the former Cleveland Browns head coach as their brand new head coach over in Atlanta. So stay tuned for that. In the meantime, you can check out our website for the latest updates. Thanks for watching, and here's Local News Live.